Hey, Okie Tools here, and this is going to be my video review of the Klutch 1/4" drive 26-piece socket sets in both metric and SAE. I was trying to put together a toolkit for one of my vehicles, and I wanted 1/4" drive sets in metric and SAE, pretty well-rounded sets. They didn't have to, really didn't care about country of origin. Wanted them to be real affordable. And as long as they had pretty good quality, I was fine with it. So I was looking around, and I figured my best deal that I was going to get was probably looking at Pittsburgh Tools at Harbor Freight. So I started looking at them, and they were pretty good price, and with those coupons you can get them for a pretty good price. But I decided to give Northern Tool a try just to take a look at them, and came across these 26-piece sets from Klutch through Northern Tool. I guess that's their brand, and I liked some things that I noticed right off the bat were that you got 6 deep well sockets and 11 shallow sockets. So that is more sockets than what come in the Pittsburgh tool set from Harbor Freight. So for not much more money, I think I paid a total of 40 bucks for both these sets together. So like 20 bucks a piece. That's a pretty good deal, really, if you ask me, and it's just a little bit more than I would have paid for the Pittsburgh tool sets, and they came with more sockets, so I figured why not give them a try. So some things I noticed first off the bat while I was reading through it was it says surface dry virtually eliminates rounding of fasteners. It's not specifically true, but it does help, and it's a nice feature. But it has a little asterisk next to it, and when you flip the box over and you read down here in this small print, it talks about how that surface drive is a registered trademark of the Apex brand, Apex Tool Group LLC. So that got me thinking about where these sockets might have been made and who might have made them. So I started doing some research around and looking at stuff. I really can't tell that the Klutch line or anything like that has anything to do with the Apex Tool Group or anything like that. I think it's just a branding, this surface drive, for the way the manufacturing process for these the broaching for these sockets. So I really don't think there's any real connection there, but there may be. Somebody may be able to chime in and enlighten me on that. These are made in China. Some of the gear wrench stuff is made in China. Lots of the gear wrench stuff now is made in China. I really don't have any sockets of theirs to compare these two. I'd love to maybe do that in a follow-on video, or maybe just an update in the comments or the description or something. If I do get some of those sockets, maybe can compare them, and it'd be really nice if these were kind of made by the same company in the same place. Stuff made in China is a lot of stuff made in China is usually made in the same place. So there's a lot of rumors out there that a lot of Craftsman stuff that's made in China is actually the same exact thing as what you can buy at Harbor Freight. That's the Pittsburgh tool stuff that's made in China. So I mean, there's no telling, but I really don't think necessarily that that's anything more than just branding, but it is an interesting little a point to be made. So what you get with it is the sockets, and you get they're all 6-point. You get 11 of the shallows and 10 of the deeps, and then you get a 3-inch extension bar and a 6-inch extension bar. You get a universal joint, which is nice, and you get a 6-inch spinner handle, which is pretty cool too. A quick release ratchet handle, and the storage case. And going off of the storage case, speaking of, it's pretty nice quality. It seems like it'd hold up pretty good. It's just a blow mold case, but it's nice that it came that way. It is one reason why I got it, because it's built-in organization, already ready to go. Throw it in my bag, good to go. Don't need socket rails or anything like that. It adds some bulk, but I like that it keeps them organized. I'm opened here, and on your left is the SAE, on your right is the metric. So you have the extensions up here, the 3-inch and the 6-inch, and then you have the spinner handle here, which also has a recess in the back so that it can actually be used in an extension too, so you actually get 3 extensions there, and both of them are that way. They all say Klutch CRV on them, and then there's a number of numbers here in the back that I really don't know what they mean. They have this little piece of foam to keep them organized and from moving around, so we'll go ahead and take those out. And it's real nice that the actual case is labeled with the sizes and everything, so that's pretty nice. So over here on the metric, it goes from 4mm in the deep all the way up to 14mm, and in the shallows it goes from 4mm again all the way up to 14. You have a 5, 6, 7, 8. You do not get a 9 in deep, 10, 11, 12, 13, and 14, but you do get a 9 in the shallows. So those are your sizes in metric. For SAE, it goes from 3/16 all the way up to 9/16, and it starts actually in the shallows that go up to 9/16 as well. Starts with 5/32. So that's your extra socket that's down here. You get 10 deeps and 11 shallows. And as you can see, from the largest socket all the way down to the smallest socket is the same size on the deeps and the shallows, so I like that. Some manufacturers kind of make their lower sizes smaller or shorter in deep wells, so I like that feature that they stay the same size. It's nice. As for what they say Klutch CRV on them, and then they have high visibility printing for the size, so that's nice. I'll go ahead and talk about the Ratchet now, and this will be for both of them because they're exact same. I like the Ratchet. It kind of has that sort of like all of them, trying to knock off some of the big name tool brands designs or setup. It is a quick release. Don't really know how I feel about that. You see a little pin comes out and a little ball drops in, so you can put the socket on like so. It keeps it on there. You can't put it on unless you just push the button. I really don't care for that feature. My regular working ratchets that I use in my box here at my house in my toolbox don't have those. It's okay for these that are going to kind of be only used when I really need them to be used. But it's just not one of those features that I really care for in a ratchet. But if that's what you're into, it does have that feature, so that's nice. The selector's made out of plastic, as far as I can tell. I don't really care for that. I would worry about how it's going to hold up, but it seems to select okay. And let's go ahead and have a listen to the ratcheting action. So that seems to be like really small teeth, so it may be fine tooth. I don't really know if it said that on the box or how many the tooth count is. I'd have to let you know in the comments or something if somebody wanted to know, or in the description. But it feels pretty smooth in both directions. Both ratchets, I've tried them, and has a little bit of knurling here. I kind of like that, and it feels good and hefty. You know, sometimes you get a ratchet, a foreign-made ratchet, and it's just, you know, overseas ratchet, and it just feels really light, really flimsy. This one's got some good heft to it. Feels like it's made out of pretty good material, pretty good steel. So I like that. And it says on there, it says Klutch CRV. So it should, finish seems real nice on it. Should hold up pretty well. And you just take it apart with this snap ring to lubricate it and everything. I have not done mine. Everything in here is pretty well covered in oil, which is nice to see. That way, you know, it come to me and didn't have any rust or anything from shipping or anything like that. When it was coming over, being imported in, there's just oil on everything. But I don't know about in there. Usually, Asian market ratchets that come over usually are not lubricated on the inside, so that may be something you need to deal with. But it comes apart pretty easy, and it can be well maintained. The swivel is the next thing I want to talk about, and it feels pretty loose right out of the box. Prefer it to be maybe a little bit tighter. or stiffer for first use, but I mean it'll work. It seems pretty nicely made, and it's nice that it came with one. The extensions have this real nice knurling, just like the Ratchet did right there. I mean, it's really deep. It really digs in. That's nice that it has that. Help you spin a socket or when you're using the extension, so that's really nice. As far as the sockets, we'll talk about the deep wells first, and like I said, all this transfers over. I mean, they're made the exact same, basically, just metric sizes, SAE sizes. So, looking at this, and looking down in there as you can see it is not broached all the way down. I prefer sockets, deep well sockets, to be broached all the way down, especially if they're going to be 6-point. But it is broached fairly deep. Take the 9/16 and, well, you know, I kind of take that back. They almost seem to be broached the same amount. If I had to give a advantage to somebody, I would actually give it to the shallow, which is kind of strange, really. I mean, it is. I really wish they were a little bit deeper broach. That'd be much nicer. You can see that off-corner drive, that surface drive setup. The broaching is nice. They do not appear to be. They appear to be chromed where the broaching is at. They do not appear to be chromed all the way down in there. So I mean, that's just something to keep in mind. The high visibility numbering's nice. The drive end seems like it's been done pretty nicely. It's recessed in there a little bit. It locks into the ratchet real well. Going off of the shallows here, as you can see, it might not be chromed all the way down in there. It's still nice color, metal. It may be chromed all the way down there. Some of it is shiny, but I don't know. It is chromed right there where the your broaching is, but I don't know about down in there. And the drive-in looks nice, and the high visibility numbering on it, and the chrome on the outside of the socket and right there in the broaching looks nice. I mean, it looks, I don't see any scratching or deformations or anything like that. So I mean, it came pretty well, and you can see the surface drive on that as well. And even on the smaller sockets, they seem to be pretty well made for as affordable they are, and the broaching seems to be pretty well. Really can't tell all the way down in there if the chrome. They are pretty well chromed down in with the in the broaching, just at the very bottom of the drive. On the very bottom down there, it doesn't look like it is, but for the money and for this, you know, what I wanted the set to be, and the fact that it does come with the numbering in a very nice blow mold case, and it comes with a lot of these nice, very usable extensions and wobble and speed handle and stuff like that, or I should say the handle here, and the ratchet being pretty nicely made. All in all, it seems like a pretty good set, and you know, I'm happy I got it. Time will tell. There's some things about it I wish were different, but it is a set if you're looking not to spend a lot of money and you're putting together like a kind of a tool kit that's going to be a vehicle tool kit or something like that, something you're not going to be, you know, relying on all the time to be like your main set. And there's a lot of redundancy between these. You know, I'm going to have 2 ratchets in this set. I'm going to have 2 extensions of each size in the set. But I mean, that's nice to have. I don't really mind it to be able to get a SAE set and a metric set to be covered on all my bases with this toolkit that I'm putting together for my vehicle. So that was my video of the reviewing the Klutch 26-piece metric and SAE 1/4-inch drive socket sets. Thanks for watching.